Welcome back to the Pit Stop Tournament Expert Division Weekend Round, hole number 9. Here we're going to be playing a Sniper Rough Bump approach using a Kingmaker, APOC 5 plus Sniper 9 plus. You're going to want to pack a Goliath in your bag in case you miss the rough with your second bounce and get a long rollout. You will be able to play the same approach shot using a Goliath. So definitely recommend packing a Goliath for this shot. The adjustment for the drive is P3 plus 10% max. We're going to always be setting up in the same place, same way for every level APOC. So green ring is going to be touching the rough here on the right at P3 max extension, and that is the same for no matter what level APOC you have. Top spin is going to be dependent upon wind strength. We're always using 3 left spin. If your wind is between 7 and 7.7, you want to use 4 top spin. Between 7.8 and 8.5, you want to use 3.7 top spin. And if it's between 8.6 and 9.1, you're going to want to use 3.5 top spin. If your wind is below 8 miles an hour, you're going to want to use a little bit more curl. So you will use APOC 5 left curl for all winds below 8 miles an hour. Otherwise, this is the standard curl that we're using. We got a center line splitting the top tip of the triangle. Left curl. That's the curl you use for all shots unless your wind is below 8 miles an hour. If your wind is below 8, then you'll use APOC 5. Left curl, which will be center line touching the outside of the triangle to the left curl. So you're either going to use this one for winds 8 plus mile an hour. For anything below 8, you'll use this one. All right. What that does is that helps prevent us from clipping the rock in between our first and second bounce. This is a bumpy fairway. You can catch some weird bounces here. I have hit the rock a couple of times, but with these tweaks, you shouldn't be hitting the rock. If you do hit the rock and stay in the rough, you can still reach for an easy eagle. It's just likely going to take the albatross out of play, but still easy eagle. And if you pull this one straight and you actually pan it, so we're looking for a specific drive here. You're going to want to pay a little more attention to this drive than, say, other drives. Make sure you're pulling it straight. Make sure you have your top spin based on wind. And use the appropriate amount of curl. Always full overpower. It's controlled, nice and slow needle. But if you do this with the drive, this sets you up in a better place for the approach shot. So for the approach shot, the adjustment is P3 minus 5% at slider. 5.5 top, 2.5 right is a base spin set. You can set that and then find your sticky spot and then respin if you need to. This approach shot plays a straight pull with a 1201 flicker. All right, so straight favoring a slight 1201. Sometimes you're going to be in plus yards. Sometimes you're going to be just outside of plus yards. So my iPad is being slow. This is what we want the ball guide to look like after we're done setting it up. And if you've seen when I was setting this up, I could shift my target left and right slightly, and the tip of the ball guide didn't move. There's a sticky spot here. That's what we're looking for. You want, with spins added, you want to be aimed center cup, and you want to be 1/2 to 3/4 of a square short. All right, with the tip of your ball guide. If you don't leave it short enough, you're gonna come in super hot, and if you leave it too short, you can stop short of the hole and in line, which sucks. So make sure that when you respin it, you're giving it about 1/2 a square to 3/4 of a square away from the hole. If you're not in plus yards, which sometimes you're not going to be, I'm going to give you the slider numbers for rings short of the plus yard as well. So what you'll do, you put your base spin on, you come over here, you find your little sticky spot, respin it, and get to this point, right? Say right now there's no plus yard on my screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my cross line at the top of my white ring, and then I'm going to push rings up until I hit the +1. Then I'm going to pull them back till the +1 goes away, and then I'm going to look and see how many rings I've pushed up, right? So I'll push it up till I see +1, pull it back till the +1 goes away, and that's going to tell you how many rings short of the +0 you are, okay? Or you can estimate how many rings short you are of the 0, but this is the more accurate way to do it. Slider values are as such. 5 rings short of the 0 is 57. 4 rings short is 60. 3 rings short is 63. 2 rings is 65. 1 ring is 67 slider. If you're at the 0, it plays 70. +1 is 72. +2 is 75. 3 is 77. 4 is 80. 5 is 82. 6 is 85. 7 is 87. 8 is 90. 9 is 92. 10 is 95. 11 is 97. And +12 is 100. Generally speaking, you're going to be in the -3 rings to the +5 range, right? With that being said, make sure that you spin it till you're aiming center cup. Make sure you're in the sticky spot, and you're at least 1/2 a square short. Beyond that, there's only one other thing that you really need to pay attention to have the best opportunity at a drop here, and it's wind angle on the approach. There's 2 major wind angles here with minor tweaks that need to be made, but it's important. So what I'm looking at when I'm adjusting this is this bush right here. Okay? The right side of that bush marks my line. So if I'm anywhere in that bush, that's the tailwind, you need 2 clicks of underpower. If you're anything outside of the bush and right, to the right, then you don't need any underpower. All right? Really important. Pull this approach straight with a 1201 flicker. Set it up properly. Don't forget your underpower. And if you manage to squeeze off a perfect here, you'll have a really good shot at walking away from hole number 9 with an albatross free to play using a Kingmaker. Now this shot, I do drop this shot. You're going to see that it comes, it's going to show you eagle. And that's because I was chipping out on my other account. So I let this one, I just chipped to myself, right? So I have another shot. So this is for albatross, even though it says eagle. Good luck, everyone. I hope you all kick some ass. And we'll see you out on the course. Catch you next time.